Nobody talks about this side of Sylvester Stallone. Behind the iconic muscles, the legendary one-liners, and the unstoppable Rocky spirit, there's another story, one filled with grudges, bruised egos, and Hollywood rivalries so intense they nearly destroyed careers. Stallone wasn't just fighting villains on screen. Off-screen, he was locked in real battles with some of the biggest names in entertainment. And these weren't small disagreements. These were personal, bitter, and long-lasting feuds that shaped his life in ways fans rarely hear about. Sylvester Stallone came from nothing. Rejected, broke, and mocked for his speech and looks, he clawed his way into Hollywood through sheer stubborn will. That same stubbornness, however, often turned into anger. Stallone never forgot insults. He never brushed off disrespect. And when he felt betrayed, he carried it like a wound that never healed. Over the years, several celebrities found themselves on the wrong side of Stallone's fury. Some were rivals. Some were former friends. Some were men who dared to challenge his status at the top. Let's start with the first and perhaps most famous name on that list. 1. Arnold Schwarzenegger. From joke to war. At first, Arnold Schwarzenegger was nobody to Sylvester Stallone. Just another bodybuilder trying to break into movies. But everything changed when Arnold played a cruel joke, one that Stallone would never forget. Early in his career, Stallone was desperate for success. He heard about a terrible script called Stay Hungry, and someone mentioned that Arnold was pretending to be interested in it. Stallone, believing it might help his career, showed interest too. Arnold later admitted he never wanted the role. He only pretended just to lure Stallone into it. When Stallone realized he'd been played, something snapped. From that moment on, the two men became bitter enemies. Their rivalry exploded during the 1980s when action movies ruled Hollywood. Every box office weekend became a silent war. Whoever had the bigger muscles, the bigger guns, the bigger explosions. If Stallone had a hit, Arnold had to top it. If Arnold had a blockbuster, Stallone took it personally. Stallone openly admitted he hated Arnold during those years. He saw him as arrogant, smug, and manipulative. Arnold, on the other hand, thrived on the competition, often mocking Stallone in interviews with subtle insults and sarcastic smiles. For over a decade, the hatred was real. Studios knew it, agents knew it, even fans felt it. They refused to work together, attend the same events, or speak kindly of each other. It wasn't until years later, after age, success, and exhaustion, that the feud finally cooled.
But for a long time, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the man Stallone truly despised. 2. Richard Gere. The dinner that ended everything before fame turned them into legends. Stallone and Richard Gere were almost friends. Almost. They worked together on The Lords of Flatbush, a small film that could have changed both their careers. But from the very beginning, Stallone couldn't stand Gere. He felt Gere was arrogant, flashy, and disrespectful to the working class roots Stallone valued so deeply. Then came the dinner. According to Stallone, Gere showed up wearing an oversized motorcycle jacket, dripping with attitude. During the meal, Gere allegedly dropped chicken grease on Stallone's pants and laughed it off. For Stallone, this wasn't a joke, it was humiliation. That moment ended everything. Stallone demanded that Gere be fired from the movie or he would quit. The producers chose Stallone. Gere was removed from the project and replaced. From that day forward, Stallone held onto his hatred. Years later, Stallone openly admitted he despised Gere. He saw him as fake, privileged, and disrespectful. Gere never publicly attacked Stallone, but the damage was done. Two rising stars, permanently divided over a moment that still echoes through Hollywood lore. And this was only the beginning. Part 2. Broken friendships and silent wars next to celebrities. By the time Sylvester Stallone reached the peak of his fame, he was no longer just an actor, he was a symbol. And symbols attract enemies. Some rivalries didn't start with insults or jokes. Some began with friendship and ended with betrayal. 3. Bruce Willis. When friendship turned cold for a while, Stallone and Bruce Willis were close. Very close. They attended the same parties, lived in similar circles, even shared business ventures. Bruce Willis once invested in Stallone's restaurant, Planet Hollywood, alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger. For a brief moment, It looked like Stallone had buried old grudges and built new alliances. But Hollywood friendships are fragile. The breaking point came during the filming of The Expendables 3. Stallone wanted Willis to return for a small role. Willis demanded a massive paycheck for just a few days of work. Stallone refused. Instead of handling it quietly, Stallone went public. He took to social media and openly mocked Willis, calling him greedy and lazy. The message exploded across the internet. Fans were shocked. Hollywood insiders cringed. The friendship was over in an instant. Stallone later replaced Willis with Harrison Ford and made sure everyone knew why, while Willis never directly responded with insults. The silence spoke volumes. From that point on, the two never reconciled. For Stallone, betrayal from a friend cut deeper than rivalry with an enemy. For Dolph Lundgren, love, jealousy, and pain. This one is complicated. Dolph Lundgren wasn't just Stallone's co-star, he was his creation. Stallone cast him as Ivan Drago in Rocky IV.